Sometimes we'll put supers from more than one colony over a bee escape. Today we were running short of escapes, so we did just that. Every colony in this yard got a fresh empty super, unless they were queenless or something was wrong with them. Looks like there's 2 colonies in here that perhaps had queen cells in them or something and did not get a super. But whenever I put a super from 2 different colonies over an escape, I have 0 issue. I've had people ask me, won't the bees fight? They're from a different colony, and for whatever reason, when I put supers from opposing colonies over an escape, I have had 0 issue over the years. I've never seen any fighting or hassles by doing that. And it might take a little longer to get all the bees out of there because now there's, 2 boxes instead of 1, or 3 instead of 2. But we have the time here. We won't be back for several days. All of these colonies got an empty super. The ones they had were quite full. It was a bit of a surprise, honestly. We were here 2 weeks ago and requeened a lot of these colonies with caged mated queens. Had a very good take. We had 3 that didn't take, those 2, and then another one over on another pallet. And they had queen cells, so we just left them alone, let them work it out. Had a good take here on the queen acceptance, so I was happy with that. A lot of bees in some of these colonies. Anyway, back to the point. Putting supers from different colonies over a bee escape, in my opinion and my experience, is a non-issue. No problem. These are singles with an excluder. So we're taking the spring wildflower off of this yard, and we put all of it above escapes 3 days ago, and we left them a medium of drawn comb, empty drawn comb, and in 3 days they filled it up primarily with basswood. So we're actually going to leave the escapes. We're going to give them another empty fresh medium and put this basswood above an escape and come back. Let's see, today's Thursday, Friday. Come back in 4 days and check it again. And they're right on the verge of switching to sourwood. So obviously I don't want to just put another super on top of this and let the basswood and the sourwood mix. And I have had some seasons where I came back, I did this same game, came back in 4 or 5 days and had another medium of basswood and had to lift it again. That's what it takes. We just try to catch the sourwood right on time. Our southern yards don't have basswood, but this is one of our northern higher elevation yards, and there's quite a bit of basswood up here. So I'm happy to do that. It's okay. I don't mind. I'll just put the escapes right back on, give them a fresh medium, and do it again. Okay. Oh yeah, everybody's waiting. so not to make noise. Thank you for that. Okay, everybody's getting an empty medium. And let's try to share some escapes here so we can generate some escapes to take with us. Yeah, we're going to lift up all of this. It's basswood.
Okay.
Yeah. On one of our recent videos, someone commented and asked the question, are we not doing the oxalic acid extended release strips this year? And the answer is generally no, but with a few exceptions. We did a lot of alcohol, soapy water mite washing about 3 or 4 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks now. And we only gave strips to the colonies that had more than 1 mite in a wash. A 0 and a 1 got no treatment, 2 and above got these strips. And we are keeping track of that. We're keeping a record of that so we know which ones have been treated and which ones have not been treated. We're still on the hunt looking for mite-resistant bees. And I don't feel like we can do that without applying pressure in some way. So if they had low numbers, we just simply didn't treat them. And then we, again, will do a lot of washing at the end of the sourwood and keep a record, figure out which ones will need mite treatments and which ones won't. So not all of our bees are going to get treated this year. We really do prefer using escapes to using fume boards and stuff like that. I've used a lot of fume boards in the past, especially when I traveled out of town. I didn't want to make 2 trips. One of the disadvantages to using escapes is it does take 2 trips. You put the escape on, and you have to come back several days later to harvest the crop. But there's some real advantages. As long as you don't have to travel a long distance and you're not burning up a bunch of extra time traveling, I think it's better, because if you got burr comb, when you pull the supers, it's a mess. It gets all over you, the truck bed, the pallets, everything. If you have burr comb and you break it all apart and put it above an escape, when you come back in a few days, it's clean as a whistle. There is no mess. And then also, if it's a dearth, if you do that, you can get this honey off quickly and get in and out of a yard before robbing gets too insane. So we really do prefer them. And of course, I'm kind of turning into an anti-chemical kind of guy, so I really don't like the idea of using repellent to drive bees out of supers. What do you think, Clint? Clint's kind of new to this honey pulling business. That one doesn't have a lot in it, but has some. We're just so close to sourwood, and we're not going to get back here till next week, so I feel like I need to get this off, give them a fresh one, and
check them in a week.
Well, when we take them bees up that mountainside, we'll be back here on Monday checking them bees, so we can come back here and look at this. And if it's got basswood in it again, guess what we'll do? We'll do it again. I don't want that basswood in my sourwood, but I have a sneaking suspicion by Monday that we'll be looking at sourwood honey, not basswood honey. So that's kind of why I'm going to all this trouble. And basswood is something that gets in a lot of folks' sourwood. Whether they know it or not, I'm not real sure. Whether they care or not, I'm not real sure. I definitely see samples of sourwood from time to time that have basswood in it, and I think some people don't realize it, honestly. Basswood, pure basswood, is lighter in color than pure sourwood, honestly, so it's kind of easy to get that confused. John, it's humid, man.
Oh, it is.
We got some spring honey to take off here. And check that medium we left behind a few days ago. We have really good colonies in this yard, stronger than the last one. So be anxious to see what they've done in 3 days. We have Ryan from Tennessee visiting us. Friend we met at the expo. So we're scoping out some new bee yards. I've got one yard up here already, up at this upper elevation area. I haven't used it in several years, but we're going to come back up this year. Going to move some of our lowest elevation yards up here. I've got permission to use one spot up here, and I'm looking for a second. The sourwood flow up here will start soon, and soon it will be ending at our lower elevations. I'm standing at about 3,200 feet, 3,220 to be exact. It's beautiful here, beautiful overlook on this guy's property. He owns 534 acres on this mountaintop, and the yard we already have is about 3/4 of a mile over in that direction. The camera won't pick it up. There's another mountain ridge over in that way. And we're going to move that yard up from Hollywood, Georgia, probably within the next 5 days. Incredible view. Let's scan out for that view. Blue Ridge Mountains right there. They're named the Blue Ridge Mountains for a reason. That blue haze is always present, sometimes more, sometimes less. It's very blue today. It's a combination of humidity, high humidity, moisture in the air, and gases coming off this forest here. We are in something, it is in fact a temperate rainforest where we keep bees. We get a lot of moisture. A lot of moisture in the air today. I can feel it. A couple nice sourwoods right close to where we're standing. So again, we'll have bees up here within 5 days on one spot. I don't see why he wouldn't let me use a second spot.